Where do you start with an automatic watering system? Picture two gardeners. One spends a bank holiday automating everything, every bed, every pot, the lot. The other fits one zone, one probe, one valve, and a scrap of paper. Come September, both gardens are alive, but only one gardener knows why. Today, the smallest setup that actually teaches you something, one loop. I am Mikkel. I drive buses in Belfast. Let us build it. Let us build it. Let me tell you how my trade handles a beginner, because it is the whole philosophy of this episode. Nobody hands a new bus driver the entire network on day one. Nobody. You are given one route, the same one, over and over, until you know every stop, every pothole, every temperamental set of lights on that road. You learn its rush hours and its quiet spells. And only when that route is boring, properly boring, do they hand you a second one. Not because new drivers are stupid, because skill grows one route at a time, and everybody in the depot knows it. Now look at what the smart garden world sells you. Whole house kits, 8 zones on day one, an app for everything fitted in a weekend. And I understand the appeal, truly, it feels like progress. But it skips the part where you actually learn your garden, and that part cannot be purchased. So my advice, after a whole series of this technology, is almost embarrassingly small. Automate one zone, learn it until it is boring, then and only then take the second route. Small is not the cheap option here, small is the fast option. It just does not look like it in the shop. So here is the starter kit, and you can write it on the back of a stamp. One zone, one probe, one valve, one log, 4 parts, and each one exists to answer a single question. The zone answers, where am I learning? Not the whole garden, one place, with one kind of plant and one kind of thirst. The probe answers, when does it actually need water? Not when the surface looks dry, not when you feel guilty, when the root zone says so. The valve answers, who does the work? A timer opens it in the cool of the morning, whether you are home, on shift, or asleep. And the log answers the question that turns kit into knowledge. What happened? One line per watering, that is all 4. Together they make a loop. Water goes out, and information comes back. Every week the guesswork shrinks a little, because tomorrow's decision leans on last week's notes. That is the whole trick this series has been circling. Not a gadget, a circle. And notice what is missing from the list. No weather station, no cameras, no app for the app. Those are all real things, and some are even useful. Later. The loop comes first, because the loop is the part that learns. Everything else is decoration until this circle closes. Price the whole thing up and it costs less than a decent spade. The most expensive part is the patience. Now the choices, starting with the zone, because picking the wrong one wastes the season. You want the bed where the stakes are highest, the thirstiest, fussiest, most valuable corner you own. For most of us, that is the greenhouse drip line, because under glass nothing arrives unless you send it. Failing that, the tomato pots or the seedling bench. What you do not want is the toughest survivor. The mint does not need a sensor. The mint needs a fence. Pick the plants whose failure would actually hurt, because that is where a lesson pays. Then the probe, a cheap capacitive one, does the job at this level. And we met the 3 tribes a few episodes back if you want the full tour. Do not agonize over the model. At this stage you are buying a rough gauge, not a laboratory. What matters more than the model is the position. Stand it in the root zone of a typical plant. Not the edge of the bed, not the puddle by the tap. The spot that tells the truth for the whole zone. Placement got its own episode, and one probe placed honestly beats 3 placed carelessly in the valve. Any timer that opens on schedule closes the loop. If you followed the anatomy episodes, you already own the knowledge. One warning before you shop though. The catalog will whisper that more kit means faster learning. It is exactly backwards. Here is the real reason one loop beats 8 zones, and it is not the money. It is what happens when something goes wrong, and something will go wrong. First season guaranteed, and that is fine. In a one-loop garden, a bad week has a short story. The probe read wet when the bed was dry, or the valve never opened, or the schedule ran twice. 4 parts. The fault is hiding in one of them, and you can check the lot in the time it takes to drink a cup of tea. You find it, you fix it, and here's the important bit. You now know something about your garden that no manual could have told you. Now run the same bad week in the 8-zone launch. Something, somewhere, is overwatering. Is it the schedule? Which schedule? A probe? Which of the 8? Every bad result has 100 explanations, and you can test none of them because everything changed at once on day 1, so nothing gets learned. The system either mysteriously works or mysteriously fails, and you are a bystander in your own garden either way. That is the whole case for small. One loop keeps every failure explainable, and explainable failures are just lessons with worse manners. If a loop still sounds like an engineering project, let me show you how ordinary this idea really is, because gardeners have been building loops for years without ever using the word. One of the most applauded posts I have seen on the vegetable forums was a fella who built his wife a set of self-watering raised planters, pond liner, a length of corrugated pipe, and a valve fed from the water butt. 1,100 gardeners stood and clapped. Look at what that actually is. A reservoir underneath, compost drawing water up as the plants spended, a float valve topping the store back up, water out, correction back. It is a loop, a passive one, no electronics, no app, and it quietly runs the same circle we have spent this episode drawing. The allotment works the same way on a longer clock. The old boys there never bought a system in their lives, but their sheds grew one anyway. A butt one year, a length of drip line the next. Nobody's shed arrived complete. They were all grown, 1 part a season. So your one loop is not some newfangled gadget philosophy. It is the oldest habit in gardening, with 1 upgrade bolted on. This time you write down what happened. Which raises a fair question about my own tap. If 1 loop is the advice, why is the Johgee 4-zone timer sitting on it? Because of what happens in season 2. My first loop was the greenhouse line, running off 1 outlet. The other 3 sat empty all season, and that was the plan. When the veg bed earned its own loop the following spring, it went straight onto outlet 2. No rewiring, no replacing, the hub already reached through the wall. The spare zones are not waste, they are runway. But the honest split matters more. If you are certain you will only ever run 1 zone, a 9-pound mechanical timer and a cheap probe make a complete, respectable loop. Save the difference. Buy the runway only if you can feel season 2 coming. So you have the 4 parts. Here is how the first season should actually run, and none of it is difficult. Fit the loop early and give it a shakedown before you lean on it. The holiday episodes taught us that discipline. Kit goes in 7 to 10 days before you need to trust it, and it runs supervised for the first 3 to 7, while you check the probe against your own finger and watch the valve actually open. Machines earn trust with evidence, same as people. Then the weekly habit, and it is 1 sitting. Read the log lines, 5 minutes with a brew. You are looking for the boring patterns. How many days the bed lasts between drinks in June. What a heat wave does to that number. Whether the probe and your finger still agree. By August you will say sentences about that zone you could not have said in May. This bed drinks every 3rd day in real heat. The probe runs half a day ahead of the wilt. That is not gadget knowledge. That is your garden learned, and nobody can sell it to you. And then the gate. When a whole season has passed and the loop has become dull, wonderfully dull, add the 2nd zone. 1 more loop, same 4 parts, same patience. Lights, feeds, cameras, even robots exist out there beyond that. 1 part a season. The shed grows, that is the pace.